Hi guys, and welcome back to the first round of Championship predictions. The season's finally here, really excited for it. This is normally the hardest prediction video to do when it comes to fixtures because one, it's the Championship, it's unpredictable, and two, it's the first round, so God knows where anyone is in, their season development. So it's going to be interesting. There's probably going to be some very bad shouts in here, but make sure to hit that like button, and if you do enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe as well. It really helps out. And let's get into my predictions. And starting off with tonight's game between Huddersfield and Burnley. Now Huddersfield, I think they're going to struggle to adapt. Losing Carlos Corberán, he was a very important part of the team. Even as the manager, he really got the best out of this team. He got more than anyone really thought possible out of this team. So I think they're going to struggle to adapt for the first few weeks of this season, definitely. Burnley, they've got Vincent Kompany in. I'm excited to see it. He's making Burnley play a different style of football, a lot more attacking, a lot more enjoyable to watch. So this is going to be very interesting to see. I think Scott Twine will feature very well, and I'm excited to see how he gets on. And I'm going to go Burnley win 2-1. Into tomorrow's fixtures, starting with Blackburn, taking on QPR. I think this one has draw written all over it. Ben Brereton Diaz versus Tyler Roberts. That's what it looks like to me. Brereton Diaz will probably be moving on in this summer. I would be very surprised if he stayed at Blackburn. Both got new managers. Very difficult to predict, as I've already mentioned. So I'm sitting on the fence, down the middle, 1-1. The next one, Blackpool taking on Reading. And I hate to be that guy, it's the first game of the season, but this smells like an early relegation battle already. I am only kidding, but I do think these two teams will be down there. Blackpool, they've lost Neil Critchley. How do they adapt? Similar to Corberán at Huddersfield, he was getting a lot out of that team. And I think on paper, that team doesn't look great. So if Appleton struggles to, adapt and, get this team focused, I think Blackpool are in for a pretty rough season. Reading, they're also going to struggle this season for me. But the thing that separates these two is that Reading, for once, actually have some strikers fit and available. Their strikers' injury records are terrible, but they're all fit now, and I think that settles it. Reading are going to win it 2-1. Cardiff up against Norwich next, and Cardiff, a lot of new signings. It's going to take time to gel. Don't be expecting them to win any games soon, especially when their first one's against Norwich. I think this has the away side written all over it. Norwich with Pucky, Rashika and Josh Sargent as well. I think that's going to be way too much for this Cardiff side. So I'm going Norwich to win 2-0. Hull take on Bristol City now. And Hull are going to be interesting because I think they could go either way this season. They've had a takeover. This is their first proper summer transfer window. And they've made quite a few signings and they've spent a decent amount of money. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players adapt to English football, really, because quite a few of them have came from Turkey. I think there was one from Portugal. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Hull this season. Bristol City, one thing you could guarantee in their games from last season was goals. They'd score a lot, but they couldn't keep it out of their net. Andreas Weimann was brilliant. Can he hit the form that he hit last season? Who knows? For me, I think element of surprise, Hull are just going to nick this one because I feel like Bristol City's defensive issues might not yet be solved. So Hull to win 2-1. Next up, it's Luton taking on Blues. For me, this one, Luton, they've lost Cal Naismith, haven't replaced him yet. They've brought in a few attackers from Barnsley, Woodrow and Morris, but I think their defence might struggle a little bit, losing Naismith. I think that's the key here. Blues, I'm happy with all our signings. They all improve our first team. And I think defensively, we're going to be much stronger than we have been, over the past few seasons. But last season we were very poor defensively. I think we'll be a bit better now. We'll keep a few more clean sheets. And yeah, we're a bit of a bogey team. We beat Luton 8-0 on aggregate last season. So I'm sticking with that narrative. Obviously not by such a big margin, but I think we'll nick it. Blues to win 2-1. Millwall take on Stoke. And if this game doesn't have draw written all over it, I don't know what does. Jed Wallace has left. They've brought George Honeyman in as a sort of replacement for him. Stoke have picked up some very good free signings. Josh Lauren, Aidan Flint, and then Dwight Gale as well. Will be interesting. He was linked with Blues, didn't come, went to Stoke. I think he'll be very good at this level. Both of these teams are capable of a playoff push. It's just whether they can achieve it, because I think they've both got very good squads. Millwall are always very good defensively, and for me, yeah, this is a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. Rotherham taking on Swansea now. And Rotherham, to me, their squad looks worse this season than it did last season, which is a little bit of a worry considering they've been promoted. But I can't see Rotherham doing too much this season. I think personally they'll finish rock bottom. Swansea, I think they'll have a good season. I don't think they're going to be full of goals, but high possession, sitting on an early lead, I can see it happening in this game. So I'm going to go Swansea to win 1-0. Wigan take on Preston now. And Wigan, their squad looks poor as well, like Rotherham. Preston, they have been very hard to beat under Ryan Lowe. They were the draw specialists last season. And I just think they've made quite a few smart signings. And that's going to get them the win here. Preston to win 1-0. Big clash next. Middlesbrough taking on West Brom. For me, Middlesbrough made some good signings. Marcus Forsin, Zach Steffen on loan. Smart signing as a goalkeeper. I think that'll work out very well for them. West Brom, however, I'm really hot on them and I don't know why. The signings of Jed Wallace, John Swift and Yukushlu all look like brilliant deals. And for me, the West Brom starting 11 is the best in the league. I think once the transfer window closes, Watford will have lost some of their good attackers. And yeah, I then think that this West Brom side are the best starting 11 in the league. I don't know why. I've just got a feeling, and I said this last season, I predicted them first. They ended 10th. It didn't work out. But I've just got a feeling. So I'll go with that feeling. West Brom, I think, will be able to overpower Middlesbrough in this game. So I'm going to go West Brom win 2-1. An interesting game on Sunday. Sunderland taking on Coventry. This was a League One clash not so long back. Now both in the Championship. Sunderland's first game back at home in the Championship. The atmosphere is going to be electric. And I think that's going to carry them to a result. Coventry have made some good signings. And I think Coventry will finish around where they finished last season. But I've just got this feeling that Sunderland are going to really do well at home this season. Maybe not on the road, but the home atmosphere to get behind them. Coventry, we saw it last season. They'll nick a late equaliser 2-2. And finally, Monday night, two parachute payment teams up against each other. Watford against Sheffield United. Now, I wasn't so hot on Watford at the start of the season because I think their good players will leave and they'll be in a bit of a difficult position with their League 2 manager. Or, well, manager that's only proven himself in League 2. I think it's going to be difficult. But I'm going to go for a bit of a shock considering I'm not hot on Watford. They've still got all their players. Sheffield United have made some good signings, but I just think that Watford are going to be too strong for them. So for me, Watford win this 3-2. So that's it. Those are my predictions for this first round of fixtures. Let me know in the comments what your predictions are. Make sure to like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Championship content. It's the first week, it's going to be exciting. We get to see where teams are and hopefully Blues can come away with some points. Up the Blues.